Hi everyone, welcome to our tea shop. We're in Puerh city, it's mid-May and we're back from Chiang Mai. We've been back since 2 weeks ago. I already miss making tea in Chiang Mai. So come in and I'm going to show you a few of the teas that we're going to press this year. Come in. So we start with Jingu area. Jingu area, we've got one tea this year. It's a Western Jingu, Tangfang Liangzi. I think you really enjoyed this tea last year, as I did. So we can have a look at the leaves. I think this year, because it was very dry, a lot of the tea was processed, you could say, on a slightly redder side. So this is something to expect, but I think it's not too bad actually. It's quite interesting. It's a result of lacking of water content in the leaves. So this is the Tangfang Liangzi Gusu, like the standard old ancient tea garden material, but there is something more this year. It's all in this bag, and as you can see, the tea is packaged in small bags. Why? Because each of those bags is a single tree harvest. And originally I wanted to blend it together and press it into cakes, but it's not what I'm going to do. This year I'm going to sell a sample pack. There are 9 different trees, all from the same garden in Tangfang Liangzi, and I want you to be able to taste the difference, to get an understanding of the diversity you can get between different trees from a same garden. I had a friend from Switzerland who came last week, and we had the tasting session, the 9 different teas, and it was very interesting. So I will make those sample packs for you, and we'll see what you think of these differences. Now that's it for Jingu for now. Now we can have a look at Mongong. Let's first go to Mongong. This is Dongguo. This is Dongguo area. This is a tea that I sold in 2 years ago, I think, and it didn't sell very well on the website, and yet it's turned out to be, I think, my favorite tea that we made in Mongong this year. It's a tea I like to have a session with from time to time, so I decided to order again from this young couple this year, and yeah, it's also quite interesting. A bit on the astringent side for now, but I think it's the kind of tea that's going to get better and better with aging, at least with a couple of years. Mongong is often like this. They really shine after like 2 or 3 years of aging, but you can enjoy them now. Next tea, Monghai area, Hekai. This is also from the same village, the same family we sourced tea from last year. So this is Mannong village, not the most expensive village in Hekai, but I think the tea is really fine, especially this year. Thanks to the dry weather, I think the quality overall really beats the teas from last year. It's a very lively tea, and I'm looking forward to tasting the cakes of these. So of course these teas, it's all the maocha, and we will press them in about 1 or 2 weeks. We're still waiting for the wrappers to arrive here. Our designer in Kunming makes them. Next tea, we have some tea from Laos, tea made by Hong Keo, the technician for the NGO we work with in Laos. And by the way, I think I'll need to go back to that region now that COVID is over. So this is like a typical Yiwu tea, you know, the kind of tea that in Guafengjai you would find for 3 times the price. And so I get it directly from Laos, and with a good processing. There's only, I think, when you rinse the tea, there's a bit of that Southeast Asian house smell, maybe slightly smoky, but not so much. And it seems that now it has vanished a bit. So we'll see what happens once we press the cake. I think we've got 70 kilo of this tea, and this is quite a cheap tea, so really good price for value for soft teas. So now let's continue around here. You can come. Now this is, have a look at the leaves first. These leaves are quite huge. What do you think? And so this will be our most expensive tea this year. This is from Bakanoi. It's a Lahu village in the southwest of Banzong area, actually like 3 kilometers away from Sinbanza. And so I met the guy last autumn during a trip, and we sourced his autumn tea medium trees. And so this year I went for the big trees. And when they say big trees in Bakanoi, it's not like the big trees in Jingmai. Like the big trees in Jingmai would be like the medium trees in Bakanoi. In Bakanoi they have really huge trees, just like they have in Laman or Lao Banzong. So yeah, this is a kind of single trees production. We've got only 10 kilo of it, but I think if you can afford it, it's definitely worth the taste. It's a very expressive tea with really good sweetness and some unexpected bitterness. Actually, I expected this tea to be more on the soft side because I referred to the autumn version. But when you taste this tea, you can also feel that it's not so far from Laman. I mean, geographically, it's just one mountain ridge away. And you can feel that in the taste, but it's still much softer than Laman. Talking of Laman, here is the small trees from Laman, the Chiamu. Again, in Laman, the small trees, it's usually already pretty big trees because they have a very fertile soil and a varietal that tends to grow big very quickly. So yeah, this is like the Shanghai. It was planted maybe 30 years ago, but the trees are really big, and you can see that the leaves in Laman are always quite big. Now this year I was also surprised because in Laman they like to process the tea for a long time, but I think it's due to the drought. Actually, they don't use steaming that much maybe, and so it led them to shorten the shaching time. Otherwise you would run out of water in the wok, and then your tea would become green tea. So overall, I think my feel is that the teas have a shorter shaching, but they are not reddened, so it's still pretty good. With the shorter shaching in Laman, the bitterness comes out even more. Usually, the longer you do the shaching, the softer the bitterness and the more sweetness you get. So this is like a more powerful Laman tea. So we've got these boxes. We've got, I think, the Shanghai, the Chiamu, so the small trees, and we've got also some big trees from Laman. As usual, it's always very good tea, Laman. You can come here and have a look at this one. This is a village we didn't source from last year, but we did source from it for a couple of years before that. And this is Wei Dong, also known as Mongong. The villages in Bulangshan have two names. So this is South Bulangshan, kind of halfway between Bulangshan town and the Mongong town, more in the east. So it's at the border with Burma, and you could say it's an unremarkable village, but actually you have good soil everywhere in Bulangshan, and we used to source cheaper tea from this area with the Shanghai, okay? But this year we went for the premium version on this one. So this is the older plantations, the plantations that they planted around their village when they moved away. Actually, these people come from Lao Banzang, and they moved away. So I'm not sure exactly when, maybe in the 50s or so, and they planted like it's quite traditional in that area. They planted some gardens around their village before tea became a big thing, really. So these tea trees, I visited them. They are not really big gushu, but maybe they are like 70 years old or so. And in the cup, you can really feel the difference. It's definitely premium material, and it would be an interesting comparison between this and the Laoman Shanghai, and maybe also Hekai. Actually, it's not so far away, but you still get some differences in taste. So I'm also really looking forward to pressing this cake. Now we get to less and less famous areas here. Here we have some Jutang. This is Jutang. This is an area in Lancang. Basically, it's north of Jingmai. It's not too far from Lancang city, but it's totally unknown, you could say, in the puerh tea world. And just like in many mountains, if you go look hard, you will find gushu basically everywhere, but not in significant numbers. So this tea reminds me a bit of the tea from Lahu that we sourced in Mongong County a couple of years ago. And so this is really pretty big gushu, but they are not very numerous there, but also not very expensive because the area is not famous. I had it this morning and it was quite energizing actually. So not too bad of a choice. But of course this tea is totally unknown, uncharted territories, so I don't really know how it will age, although I think it won't be too bad, we'll see. And then this is Bang Wai tea. Also not so famous, although the reputation is increasing. It's always, the tea from Bang Wai has always grown in the shade of Jingmai, because both mountains are in Lancang County, and Jingmai is more famous because Jingmai has much larger ancient tea gardens. And here we have some gushu from Bang Wai, and again those gushu can be very big. They don't have very large surfaces, but the gushu there is very big. And we also have in those bags we have some Shanghai. I tried the gushu the day before yesterday, and really in a blind tasting I just thought it was Laman tea. That's quite interesting. It was very bitter actually, quite strong, and I didn't expect that character from Bang Wai, which means that maybe I'm not familiar enough really with the taste of Bang Wai, and there's probably more to research here. But anyway, yeah, I'm very satisfied with this tea. Then we can come here. Okay, here are some boxes of Jingmai tea. We can come around here, and I'd like to show you the last tea that we have here. And this is a tea. Let me take the tray. This is a tea that Pu-erh went to process. This is also from Lancang County, and this is Farjan Ho. I think this is a cake we made in 2021. We had a few boxes of this tea in 2021. Now the problem is the processing. Well, they're not very conscientious, I would say, with the processing. So it required a bit more supervision. So in early spring, before we started the harvest in Jingmai, Pu-erh went to the mountain and processed that much tea. I don't know, there's maybe 90 kilo or something of tea. So this is a very affordable tea, and also really good for the price, really, because you have a good environment there and apparently a decent soil. And so that's about it for the teas from other mountains than Jingmai. Our Jingmai tea is already in the factory. We'll press it as soon as we get the wrappers. That should be next week. And so maybe we will add more teas than these over the months. Maybe we won't add all these teas at once. We will see. Maybe 2 waves of releases would be better to allow you to taste all the tea and get samples and things. So thank you very much for the sale that we had 2 weeks ago, which was very successful in helping us make room in the warehouse. And I hope you will really enjoy those mocha from Jingmai that we sold. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good tea at home. Bye bye.